Hey guys, what's up? It's Harley, and I forgot to film an intro for this video. So this is going to be my May wrap up, and I hope you guys enjoy. So I finished my first book of the month, and that is I Did Something Bad by Mo Tetuar. I believe that was how the audiobook said it. This is a like romance, little mystery in there type of book. This one follows our main character, Kin. She is a journalist, and she gets the opportunity to follow around and interview Tyler Toon. Yeah, that's how you say his name. He is a famous actor. They are located in Myanmar, I believe that's what it was, Myanmar. So she gets the opportunity to follow him around and interview him for her job. She's a freelance journalist, but she has the opportunity to write a piece for Vogue, and with this she could potentially get a job in Vogue Singapore. And while she is on location with him, watching him film and stuff, she walks off into a park and some guy attacks her, and in self-defense she stabs him with her pen, and they're scuffling. He gets tossed over the ledge of a bridge, and Tyler hears her screaming, pries the guy off, and he falls into the river and presumably dies. And they decide to cover up this murder instead of just going to the police. That is the gist of this story. I liked the romance. I thought it was very cute. I especially love Tyler. He is perfect boyfriend material, okay? Kin annoyed me at times. No offense, girl. But I don't know. She was very woe is me because she had recently gotten divorced and was dealing with that at the beginning of the book. And so she's very career orientated in the beginning. And she develops feelings for Tyler over the course of this interview. But it takes her a while to like accept that maybe he likes her when this man has done nothing but give obvious signals that he's into her. And in the back of her mind she's always just like, well, this could never work, so she's like focused on the job aspect. And that just annoyed me because like this man was in for it. But yeah, and the murder part lost me a bit because I really think they would have been just fine going to the police. This man tried to attack her. He was drunk at the time, so, you know, his toxicology reports would have came back being like, yeah, he was drunk. And it turns out that he was actually stalking her because he has, like, tons of photos of her. I think they would have been fine just confessing to the police instead of being like, hey, let's cover it up. And it was also a little weird that everyone wanted to help her cover it up because they all barely knew her. I don't know, but I did like it though. I really like the audiobook. I like the narrator a lot. So I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. This month has completely gotten away from me. I definitely feel like I was in a slumpy period during the middle of the month. Probably like 2-3 weeks, I guess. I only updated 1 book, and that was the first book I ever read this month. So I have like 3 I have to talk about right now, and then hopefully I will get a couple more done by the end of this video. Fingers crossed. So one of the books that I have to talk about is The Champions by Kara Thomas. This is the always loud things. That was a truck. I thought it was a motorcycle at first. The first book I have to talk about is The Champions by Kara Thomas. This is the sequel to The Cheerleaders, which I read last year and I really loved. So I was very excited to get to this one. I did enjoy this one, but not as much. I feel like the mystery surrounding the cheerleaders was more exciting than the mystery revolving around these football players. Let me tell you what this one's about first of all. Okay, so this one is about the football team. There is something going on with them. The main character, Hadley, she's a journalist for the school paper, and that's what she wants to do with her life. She wants to be a journalist. So she gets assigned to write about the football team. She goes to the practice or whatever to do it, and the one coach is kind of annoyed that she's there, but like her teacher like is the one that set this up, but maybe she didn't talk to the head coach. She talked to maybe like an assistant coach. I don't know. But he's very annoyed that she's there, and he like does not want to talk to her. So that's like red flag number one. And then she talks to a couple of the football players, and some of the other ones kind of give off a vibe. But she ends up going to a party because one of them invited her. And at this party, the one that invited her ends up getting poisoned and ends up in a coma. He ends up in a coma, and things kind of spiral from there. Another one gets kicked off the football team and then suddenly dies. Suspicious. But so things are rolling like that. So it's kind of like in the cheerleaders, how some of the cheerleaders died, some time went by, a couple more died. It was suspicious, weird. That's like what this one is. But this one, the story, I feel like it felt more real, more done, more told before. Like, I think I've seen this in a couple of shows and stuff, this kind of storyline that went on. So that's why I didn't enjoy it quite as much, because I don't know, it just felt more believable, which, I mean, you would think you would want it to be believable, but like I like the suspense in the first one better. But yeah, so that is what this one was about. I ended up giving it this one 4 stars because I did really enjoy it. The next book I ended up reading was Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book in the Chestnut Spring series, and this one follows Sloane and Jasper. They've known each other since Sloane was like early teens. She was like maybe, I think she was like 11, and he was a couple years older than her. But she has always had the biggest crush on him ever since, and like everyone has known it. But he, along the way somewhere, ended up developing feelings for her as well. But he never thought he was worthy of her because of where he came from and what happened to him, and also a conversation with her father at some point. But so that's what this book is about. This book is a friends to lovers story, and I feel like because they were so established in the past, this one felt very slow. It felt like a slow story. And for about like, I think half the book, it's just both of them being in love with the other one and not thinking they're worthy or that the other one is interested at the time. So that also added to the slowness of it. But then once they get together, they're like together all the time. So you really went from like 0 to 100, like so fast. And I feel like that took me out of the story, just taking forever to get to that point and then just being like having it thrown at you. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I did like the characters, but I wish that we got more scenes of them with other people in the series. Like, there were characters that they interacted with, but this book mainly just felt like the two of them. The two of them were just always together, and it was like rare other people were involved, or rare that one of the characters would have scenes with somebody else. And I just feel like having scenes with other people would have broken it up a little bit more and made it feel not quite as slow. And the next book I have to talk about is Beautifully Broken Spirit by Catherine Cowles. This is the 3rd book, another 3rd book in the Sutter Lake series. So I've been reading one of these a month since March. This one is about Jensen and Tuck. So Jensen is the sister of the male love interest from book 1, and Tuck is his best friend. And once again, like the other book, they've known each other since she was born, actually. Like, literally, they've been in each other's lives their entire life. But this one felt a little different than the other one. It didn't feel as slow. But this one, I was very much in the midst of a reading slumpy area, because this took forever to finish. And, like, I enjoyed it, but, like, I don't know why. I just struggled reading. So this one actually broke my 5-star streak for the series. I've given them all 5 stars. I gave this one 4.5, which might be a little too low, might be a little too high, we don't know, but I could not bring myself to give it 4 stars or 5 stars. So I gave it a 4.5 because of my slump. But I enjoyed the characters together in this one a lot, and she's also a single mother. And I enjoyed seeing Tuck with her son and the three of them together. I wish there was more scenes of that because I would have really enjoyed it. Also, her baby daddy comes into the picture, causes some problems there. And then there is also this thing going on with the wild horses. Some of them are showing up dead. And Jensen and Tuck both have like a connection to these wild horses. They've spent a lot of time like going out and watching them and stuff. And so they're involved in that too. So there's a couple different suspense things going on in this book. And I was surprised by who was killing the horses. And there was something else that went on, which I do feel like maybe got wrapped up a little too well, in my opinion. I would have liked to see a little more about that. But I did really enjoy this one, and I'm excited to continue on in the series. Okay, so let's officially talk about One of Us is Back. I finished this earlier, and I think I've settled on I'm going to give it a 4.5 rating because I really enjoyed this one. I think it's my favorite out of the series. I think I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the first book. But basically, this is like a mystery slash thriller YA kind of situation. And obviously this one takes place after the events of book 1 and 2. So in the first book, these kids were in detention and one of them dies, and basically it's assumed that one of the kids in detention, or all of them together, killed the one. So that is like the general gist of how things get set off in this series. And in the sequel, there's like a copycat killer game thing going on, and in this one it takes the events of both and really kind of cycles back, I think, more so to the first book. And one of the people that were charged are being like released. There was a problem with one of the jurors leaking information, and so they were trying to do a new trial to get him released, and it causes problems for our Bayview crew. So in this one we follow 3 POVs. We follow Nate and Addie from the first book, which I really love both of them, so I was really glad that we were following them in this one. And then we follow Phoebe, who's from book 2. And looking back, I realized they all 3 of them had like kind of a journey to go through. Nate has family issues. His dad was an addict. I don't remember if his mom actually was an addict or something. His dad might just be mostly an alcoholic. I think he was mostly an alcoholic. But they had a rocky relationship, and in this one, his dad is really working on healing himself, and things are actually kind of going good with his family. And same for Addie. Addie had problems with her like mom. Her mom always put this pressure on her and her sister to be perfect because she wanted better for them, and it kind of came to a head in the first book, and she had moved out and lived with her sister during the second book, but her sister's having a baby, so she decides to go back home and live with her mother. And they kind of work on their relationship in this, and it's not fully there, but you do see that they are both trying now, and I appreciated seeing that. And then Phoebe, because of the events of the second book, there's some inner turmoil going on with her and her sister, and it involves their younger brother, and we get to see that come to play in this one, and their family is healing by the end of it. I see the dogs are wandering around now, so I might get yelled at soon. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and there were things that surprised me. I did suspect some stuff, but I feel like it wasn't too much that I was like, oh, I knew that was coming. I really was generally shocked for a lot of it. You should have seen me in the car just like being like, oh my god, like what just happened? Slapping the steering wheel. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, so I gave it a 4.5. Okay, so I'm here to finish up this wrap up I do have 3 books that I need to talk about that I did not talk about through the month. So 2 of them are from the same series, so that I'm gonna do them together, I think. But the first one that we have is A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir. This is the second book in the Ember in the Ashes series. I ended up giving this one a 3-star, which is mainly on me because I took 5 years to pick up this one after reading the first book. Okay, shame on me. Shame on me. So I didn't remember a lot of what went on in the first book. Like, I remember the general gist of it. This is like kind of a Roman-esque story. They are in a, I don't know if they're really in a war, but there's like an army that's like kind of like the Roman Empire. And our main character, Laya, she is looking for her brother. Her brother has been taken. He is a prisoner and she wants to free him. But she also has like some kind of like magic going on that seems like she's not fully aware of. Like I said, I am going off of what happened in this one. So I think she wasn't aware that she has some kind of magic. And it seems like the Empire has taken her brother because he knows something that could help the rebels. I don't know if there is really rebels. See, this is where I'm at, where I'm like, I'm missing context from the first book. So Elias is a soldier in the army. His mother is the commandant, so she's like in charge of everything. And his mother is like really terrible, okay? Elias does what he's told, but he is very much conflicted and not sure that they're doing the right thing. And he has a best friend, Helene, and she is also in the army with him. And I really liked their friendship. At the end of the first book, Elias helps Laya, and when I pause on her name, it's because I'm trying not to say Leia. Elias helps Laya, and they escape the Empire. And they end up going on the run. So this is very much a on the run book. They're trying to get to her brother, free him, and Helene is tasked with finding Elias and either bringing him back or killing him. I feel like the end goal is to kill him, but I feel like the new emperor wants to like do it himself, you know? But, or like see it happen. But yeah, so this one, very much a traveling book. I definitely preferred Helene's perspective, mainly because she is my favorite, but also I just feel like hers didn't drag as much as the other ones because, like I said, they were traveling. She at least had a real solid purpose following them, trying to track them down. I was a little confused about what their goal was, so that was just information that I was missing from the first book. But I did enjoy this one. I got like 70-ish% in, and things started connecting for me, and I started like getting back into the story. So I definitely need to pick up book 3 before I forget anything that happened in book 2 or before 5 years pass. So hopefully soon. But yeah, gave this one 3 stars. And the last 2 books I have to talk about for this video are the last 2 books in the Secret Circle series by L.J. Smith. I have the last one here, The Temptation, in my hands because I own this one. I don't own the other one, The Hunt, but I did read both of those. So like picture book. Now I'm very glad the Secret Circle is over and that I am free from this hell I put myself in. I really enjoyed the first like 2/4. It's kind of confusing because the first like 2 books are considered like 1 book, and then the second 2 are considered 1 book. That's why I say 2/4. There's technically like 4 stories going on, but I liked those ones because they were written by L.J. Smith. The final, I think it's 4, are not written by her. They are written by a ghostwriter, Aubrey Clark, and they feel really different to the original story. I really enjoyed the original story. These ones, I feel like they lacked depth everywhere. The plot wasn't plotting, the characters were just annoying, and we mostly focused on Cassie. My qualm about that is I hate Cassie, so I would have loved to hear more about the other characters. But no, we just follow Cassie around, and Cassie has this, like, superiority complex or something. Like, Cassie is, like, the most powerful, even though she didn't even know she was a witch, like, 2 seconds ago. She has to be the leader now because she's the most powerful, and I'm like, why are we letting her be the leader? She doesn't even know anything. Hi, Kimmy. Kimmy's down here, sitting pretty. But yeah, she doesn't even know anything, and she's just annoying, and then she's got this love triangle going on with Adam and Nick, and you know, how dare one of them like somebody else, but you know, she can go back and forth between the two of them. But I would have much preferred to like learn about the other characters, and we introduced this bad evil character to like thwart things, and then the payoff for that wasn't even good. I would have preferred her to just be evil, and they gave her a reason for being evil, and I didn't like it because it like negated everything that happened. But yeah, so I am free of these 2 books though, and I did complete this series, which I'm glad about. And Daisy just refuses not to squeak that damn toy, so we're just gonna keep talking. But yeah, so I gave both of these books 2 stars. And those are the books that I read in May. I think I did pretty well. I did have a couple really great books this month, and a lot were like mediocre, bordering on bad. That's a discussion for another day. I did complete some series, which I'm really proud of myself for, and I did make progress in quite a few. So I think it was a pretty good reading month. But if I had to pick a book to be my favorite, I think I'm honestly gonna go with One of Us Is Back. Like, I don't know, I was just really invested in that story and like the characters, so I think I'm gonna go with One of Us Is Back, surprisingly. Wow, okay. But that is it for my reading wrap up. Let me know what you guys read, and if you read any 5-star books. I did not get to one of those this month. Sad. But that is it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.